Hello and welcome to part 3 of week 1 lecture series. In part 3 we're going to be looking about how services differ from each other and categorising service processes. So in here we have a theory from Lovelock, quite old, 1983, in how they classified services. And a lot of this is going to be coming back to what we just talked about before. So we talked about the degree of intangibility. It's a common theme in trying to understand what services are. The direct recipient of the service process, who's actually benefiting from the service, and that's often we're going to look at the customer or the business to business or business to consumer. Consumer was the word I was trying to think of. The place of service delivery, so does the customer come to you or do you go to the customers? The customization versus standardization. So some services are highly standardized. I think of Netflix or Stan or stuff like that. Everyone watches the same show. It actually is customized a little bit because when you log on to your TV or Netflix or whatnot, it's going to go continue watching, which is customized for you. But really the core product, which is the movies that we're watching, are going to be the same for everyone, right? Whereas other services such as getting a tattoo or something like that is going to be highly customized to the individual. Now, the type of relationship we have with customers, some services are going to have very close relationships with customers, others are going to be more distant, and some are going to be more simple, some are more complex. We also have discrete services, which is like you go in there and you buy a coffee and you're gone, right? Whereas others are going to be more continuous, like your I'm thinking your mortgage. So you go there, you get a service which they lend you money, yada yada, and that goes on for the next 20 years, right? And some are high contact, where you actually need to physically be present with the customer. Right, there's contact, and that contact, it can be quite interpersonal. Or think of something like a massage. Like you have to touch the customer, or a haircut. You have to be there together and touch them. Whereas low contact, you could be providing like your Microsoft Office. You know, you're paying for a product or service, like the access to the software, and I'm pretty sure they don't know who we are or really care about us as an individuals. There's low contact, they just make it and it goes out to lots of people. So in here, I've started to include printouts of the journal articles where this theory comes from, so that students understand that when we're talking about these theories on the lecture slides, it really comes from and relates back to research that's been published in reputable journal articles, right? So in this one was published in the Journal of Marketing. And when you do your assignments, you understand this is where I want you to be going to look for ideas to support your analysis and such. So when I say do your assignments need to be based on theory and research, it's these types of things, right? And indeed, the lecture slides are basically summaries of heaps of research that's been published in our field of, our field of research marketing. So here we have some more categorizing service processes. We have people processing, possession processing, mental stimulus processing, and information processing. So in people processing, you're basically the service is processing people through the system, right? So you go, all right, that person needs a haircut, you're doing something to the person. Whereas possession processing, it could be, oh, do you need your car fixed? It's not about the person, it's about their possessions. Now, some are mental stimulus processing, so like if you're providing entertainment to the person, the value that they're getting is stimulating them mentally, or it could be information that provides them, or advice, consulting is mental stimulus processing. And then information processing would be like doing your tax. This is how much tax you have to pay, or this is how much tax you're getting back, or this is what you have to do, sort of advising stuff. And this is broken down into tangible actions, intangible actions, people, possessions. And you can see here examples for those types of categories. Now, service as a system. Now, we've done a lot of research. When I say we, I mean academics in general, done a lot of research into understanding the systems that services are. So any service business can be thought of as a system comprising of service operations, and service delivery. So the operations are where inputs are processed and the elements of the service product are actually created, whereas the service delivery is where the final assembly of these elements takes place and the product is delivered to the customer. So here we have a service operations system, and we have a non-visible, so we have technical core here, which is non-visible to the customer. We have physical facilities and contact personnel, and these are actually visible to the customer, but the technical core obviously isn't. Now we create a service A. Oops, shivers. That was a mistake. We create service A and service B, and we have a direct contact with customer A and customer B. But then there's also these secondary interactions that go on between our service provision and different customers, and also the customers themselves. And it turns out the interaction between our customers is a lot more important than what we imagine, because these, as we become more and more interconnected within these marketplaces, customers share experiences and their recommendations to one another become more and more important. So it's a good way to think of service as a service delivery system that involves those components. Now, we also have a service delivery system where and when and how the service is delivered to the customer, and includes front stage and backstage. So again, we have the technical core, which is the backstage, and we're going to be explaining, this is setting the foundations for more theories coming up, where we talk about service theatre and service products as drama, and we do front stage and backstage. It's very theatrical in the way that we think about these things. So the backstage is behind the curtain that the customer doesn't see, but where a lot of the action happens, right? Whereas the front stage is where the customers do see it, and we have our servicescape, so the interior and exterior facilities are important, the equipment that we use, and the people that we use form a big part of what the customer sees and the value delivery system that the customer gets. So the customer, again, is of course central to this delivery process, but then also impacted and influenced by other customers. Now, other contact points that we have with our customers are the advertising which we generate, but now again, like I said just previously, it's not just our advertising, but it's the interaction between our customers through word of mouth and referrals and stuff. Sales calls, billing and statements, other forms of communication, websites, emails, random exposure to facilities like our advertising on our facilities and our vehicles, chance encounters with service personnel. So like, oh hey, yeah, you work for University of Tasmania, blah blah blah, and of course that's why as services marketing people, we're kind of asking our service people to be brand ambassadors or ambassadors for the organisation. So it's not just while you're working that you're representing the organisation, but then these random encounters and stuff as well. All right, so this is a service delivery system for high contact service. Now, services marketing system, so different ways in which the customer may encounter or learn about the service organisation. So we have service personnel, service facilities and equipment, non-personal communications, and other people. All of these things help us to communicate or help us to understand how our customers engage with us. There's a fair bit of detail in there. I don't really have time to go through each of those, but you can do that in yourself. Now, I want to finish it off, the last section on the expanded marketing mix. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you by now will know what the expanded marketing mix is. Originally developed with the 4 Ps of product, place, price, and promotion, but now, thanks to services marketing, we have people, process, and physical evidence. And these are going to form a big part of your final assessment task. So, the independence of marketing. So marketing heavily relies on people, right? I've said that before, and we're going to learn that more. The way a lot of marketing is actually human behaviour, analysing and understanding and predicting human behaviour. And therefore, of course, we have to work quite closely with human resource management. We also rely a lot on operations and information technology, the IT department. And indeed, a lot of the stuff that we do integrates the people part and the IT part together to make sure that we're delivering value to our customers. Now, there's this idea of the part-time marketer as well, so this is the P part of the people part of the of the marketing mix. And this is research which has been published in the European Journal of Marketing by Gummison. Now, the idea of part-time marketing is that most of a company's marketing is not actually done by us, the marketing department, right? So when you're learning about marketing and teaching about marketing, by the time you finish your business degree with a marketing major, you should be able to do, take on the role as a marketing manager, right? But it's not only us, it's not really us as marketing people that do most of the marketing. We're responsible for the strategic direction of it and setting it and all that sort of stuff, but the actual delivery of it is done by these amateur part-time marketers. And these are everybody else in the organisations. They're very influential both inside the company and outside the company. And unless the part-time marketing concept is realised, marketing can never be efficient. So although we're designing what marketing is and our strategic direction for marketing, and we think about, we do the heavy lifting and thinking about, what is our core product and how are we creating value, who's our target market, how are we going to deliver it, how are we going to position ourselves, what is our core value offering in what's our unique selling position or unique value proposition in the marketplace. So all of these are concepts that a lot of people don't really understand, but it's our job to know what they are. The actual delivery of that stuff is usually done by the people interacting with the customers, or so the people at the front desk. If you're running a hotel, it's not the marketing manager in the office working on the marketing plan that's actually interacting with the customers. It's usually the customer service agents that are doing it. So it's important to understand that concept. On that note, on the idea about the part-time market, I'm going to finish lecture 1. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the workshops.